In his later years, Haji Sahib set up a factory and started staying there around the clock. He worked in his office for 16 to 18 hours a day, and when he got tired, he would sleep in the factory's guest house. This change in Haji Sahib's temperament was astonishing to everyone. For 30 years, he had remained detached from worldly matters, business, and money. He spent this period in worship and spiritual practice, and Allah Almighty rewarded him beautifully for his devotion. He became enlightened from within. Every morning at 8, he would open his sitting room and people would gather around him until late at night. People would come to him with their needs. He would raise his hands in prayer for them, and Allah would resolve their issues. Allah had blessed his supplications with acceptance, but then, suddenly, Haji Sahib's life took a turn. One day, he got up from his spiritual seat, closed his sitting place, took capital from his sons, and set up a medium-sized garments factory. He hired 500 women in this factory. With his own hands, he designed new clothes for European women, sent these designs to Europe, received orders from abroad, and started manufacturing goods. The factory began to thrive, and Haji Sahib started earning dollars by the handful. There are probably 200,000 to 300,000 garment factories in the world, and as many owners, but among these hundreds of thousands of owners, there would be no one like Haji Sahib. All over the world, people do business until old age and then renounce wealth and accounts to turn to God. But Haji Sahib was the exact opposite. He abandoned business at the age of 35 to devote himself to God. But when he drew close to Allah, he suddenly left his flourishing spiritual sanctuary and jumped back into the world of materialism. He became the only businessman in the world who went from the factory to the shrine, and then from the shrine back to the factory. Haji Sahib's story began with a dog and ended with a dog. Haji Sahib owned a garments factory. He would go there early in the morning and work until late at night. One day, when he arrived at the factory, he saw a medium-sized dog dragging itself into the warehouse. On closer look, he realized the dog was badly injured, probably hit by a vehicle, breaking 3 of its legs. The dog was using its only good leg to drag its body into the warehouse. Haji Sahib felt great pity for the dog. He thought about taking it to a vet for treatment and then releasing it once it recovered. He picked up the phone to call a vet, but before dialing, a strange thought crossed his mind and he put the phone back down. He thought, the dog is severely injured, 3 broken legs, a wounded jaw, and a bruise on its belly. It cannot arrange food for itself. Now let's see how God provides for this dog. Haji Sahib decided to observe silently and sat down quietly. The dog lay unconscious in the warehouse all day. At dusk, when darkness began to spread, Haji Sahib saw another dog slip under the factory gate. The dog had a long piece of meat in its mouth. It sneaked into the warehouse, approached the injured dog, nudged it awake with its paw, and placed the meat in its mouth. The injured dog couldn't move its jaw and spat the meat out. The healthy dog picked it up again, chewed it until it was soft, then made a small bite and put it in the injured dog's mouth. The injured dog swallowed it. Afterward, the healthy dog left the warehouse, wet its tail in a water trough, returned, and placed its wet tail in the injured dog's mouth. The injured dog sucked water from the tail. After this act, the healthy dog calmly left. Haji Sahib smiled. This routine continued every day. The dog came, fed the injured one, quenched its thirst, and left. Haji Sahib watched this for several days. One day, Haji Sahib asked himself, the God who provides for this injured dog, will he not give me 2 meals a day? It was an intriguing question. Haji Sahib pondered the answer until night and eventually grasped the essence of trust in God, tawakkul. He handed over the factory to his brother and renounced the world. He began fasting 30 days a month and spent his nights and days in prayer, bowing and prostrating before Allah. For years, he stood in the court of Allah. During this period, Allah continued to provide for him and accepted his prayers. Eventually, he became famous as Sufi Baba, and people would even make talismans from the dust of his feet and wear them around their necks. But then another incident occurred, and Sufi Baba became Haji Sahib once again. It was a mild winter afternoon. Dozens of devotees sat in Sufi Baba's chamber as he spoke to them about spiritual mysteries. In the course of the conversation, he narrated the dog story and concluded by saying, "Sustenance always follows man, but we foolish humans have started chasing it instead. If one's trust in God is alive, sustenance will surely reach him, just like the injured dog whose share was brought to him by another dog. I learned the meaning of tawakkul from that dog. I renounced the world and walked the path of God. Today, the reward of that path is that I am sitting among you." In these 30 years, not a single day passed without Allah providing for me through some means, nor have I ever slept hungry. I always thank that injured dog who taught me the lesson of tawakkul. Among the gathering sat a young professor wearing jeans and an MP3 earphone in his ear. He removed the earphone, laughed, and said, "Sufi Baba, the greater dog wasn't the injured one. It was the one who came every evening to feed it and quench its thirst with its wet tail. If only you had focused on the service, sacrifice, and generosity of the healthy dog instead of the injured one's reliance, your factory would still be running, feeding 500 or 600 families today. Sufi Baba broke into a sweat. The young professor continued. Sufi Baba, the hand that gives is superior to the one that receives. The healthy dog was the upper hand while the injured one was the lower. Sadly, you saw the lower hand but failed to see the upper one. I think your entire mysticism and trust in God are based on selfishness, because a generous businessman is better than 10,000 idle and unskilled dervishes. The young man stood up, greeted them, and left the chamber. Haji Sahib prayed 2 units of prayer, locked the sitting room, and reopened the factory. Now he worships and does business too.